loves, it's your girl Angelica coming at you live from mi casa. Well, my new casa. So I moved, I believe it was September 1st. The days have flown by. Honestly, it's been really overwhelming. I miss my old place so much, but I guess it was time for a change. It was time for newness. And so here we are. Fortunately, I moved within the neighborhood that I'm in now, so it wasn't that bad of a commute, but still it was really emotional. I got really attached to my old apartment, and honestly, it was just time to move. It was time to go somewhere new and experience a different kind of apartment. And so here we are. I wanted to give you folks an update as it's been a couple of months. It's now been 5 months and 12 days since I had FFS, and honestly, I've been healing really well. I didn't anticipate this process to move as quickly as it did. I'm just really excited. I'm happy. I'm really happy with the results. Loving my nose, although I still very much have some swelling in this area. So I'm looking forward to the time when it starts to go down. I can't wait to see what my nose looks like when the swelling goes away, because ooh, I can just tell she's going to be extra snatched, extra cute, extra con. Yes, honey, like she's gonna serve. But again, right now, she's just a little swollen. That's all. No big deal. I love what Dr. Bradley did with my jaw, although full disclosure, I have gained some weight, so I'm a little, that's my fault. That's not Dr. Bradley's fault. Also, it might still be swelling, so who knows. Now, let's get into my profile, honey, because the profile, and I'm going to get nice, or I'm going to try to get nice and tight and right, because look, this profile, the profile is cunt. She is cunt. Look at, like, get into it. The forehead is nice and smooth, nice and soft and flat, minus the little bump here. But so I don't know if you folks notice, but right here I'm developing a bit of a bump, and I'm assuming that's the piece of bone where Dr. Bradley had removed to shave it down. And so I'm not really sure why it's as elevated as it is. And you can see, like, it definitely looks as though it's my bone that's protruding a bit. And also my scars have been healing really well. I've been using scar sheets for this portion of my forehead. Although, as you'll notice, the corners of my incisions are a bit bumpy and still pretty visible. Although, once I put foundation on there, it tends to cover them up really well, but the sensation is still a bit bumpy on the sides of my incisions, like of my forehead right here. So that's a little annoying, but I digress. We will be patient, because we're being patient with the process. We are being patient because this is going to take a whole year to see the full results. So keep that in mind. And as I'm saying that to y'all, I'm saying it to myself. Patience is key. Patience is key. But yeah, the profile looks amazing. My nose is nice and sloped, exactly how I wanted it. Precisely how I wanted it. Like, just, I literally told Dr. Bradley, I was like, look, I want a supermodel nose, and that means a nice slope and a little, like, little button moment, little cutness, a little cuteness. I'm really liking what he did with my eyes. So my eyes are nice and lifted. There's some space between my eyebrow and my lash line, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted more of a lifted look. When it comes to a revision, I've considered going back to get them a little more lifted. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to feel like that in a couple of months, but we'll see. I think that sometimes when you have FFS, your mind kind of plays tricks on you, and things might not appear the way that you think that they appear, if that makes any sense. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain, because I've been looking in the mirror heavily, noticing the changes and the results, but it's very nuanced. And I guess it's one of those things, it's like you're too close to the project to notice when things have actually changed. What I do wish Dr. Bradley was able to achieve is putting fat transfer in my cheeks. That was something that I really wanted. However, that's something that can be addressed during a revision, so we shall see. I'm still waiting and letting myself heal, letting myself settle into my new face before I make any crazy decisions. But that's certainly an option. What I would say is that if you're not entirely happy with your results, then seek out a revision. And it doesn't have to be with the same doctor. It can be with another doctor, but I highly recommend you doing the research, asking patients of that doctor about their experience. I think that's vastly important to figure out if that surgeon is going to be the right surgeon for you. What I will say about Dr. Bradley's team is that they're fantastic at keeping in contact, answering questions, addressing issues that you may have or may not have as a patient. Dr. Bradley hasn't really shied away from answering my questions, which I appreciate. And his team has really created a space where they seem to actually care about their patients. They exemplify what it means to have a great patient and doctor relationship, honestly. They've answered all the questions that I've had. They've followed up with me. They've made sure that I was comfortable, that I was well taken care of while I was in the hospital. And even when I was discharged, they really were there for me. And I appreciate that so much. But with that, I say make sure that when your doctor is going down the list of procedures that you have, make sure that you align with them. Make sure that every single procedure is what you wanted and also what you asked for. To be perfectly honest, I do feel a lot more comfortable stepping into public spaces now. That was really the goal of this procedure. I really wanted to feel as though I could step into public spaces and feel comfortable, feel confident within myself. And with the results that Dr. Bradley was able to achieve, I do feel a lot more confident and comfortable in public spaces. I feel pretty. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I do, though. I feel as though a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. For a very long time, I did not feel confident within myself. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel desirable or just comfortable with my face as is. And while while I do still feel that it's unfortunate that I couldn't build that sort of confidence within myself to just exist as I am without FFS, I can honestly say that FFS has given me confidence to sort of step into a room and own the room as my authentic self. And again, I feel pretty, and that's something that I haven't quite felt before to this extent. You know, I've gone to events and had my makeup done to the tens and, you know, had those moments where I felt beautiful, but I didn't really feel that when I would wake up in the morning. I didn't feel like that when I would look in the mirror. I would be so critical of the things that I felt as though were easily read as masculine on my face. It used to torment me and haunt me in a way. But now with FFS, I feel so much more confident, so much more comfortable with myself. And it's not to say that I won't be going back for a revision, because I am considering doing a revision. But I think what a lot of folks, including myself, fail to realize is that the process of healing after FFS takes so long. My face has changed from day to day to day. And so in the earlier months, I was really concerned about my right eye, because my right eye was still a bit more fatty, but actually it was just swelling. My right eye has gone down so much more in terms of the swelling. She's lifted, she's cute, she's caught. Dr. Bradley did that. He did that. He really, I feel as though, listened to what I asked for and what I wanted out of my results. But again, there are certain things that I do want addressed in a revision, but before I jump to that, I'm going to wait for the full year mark. So it'll be a year on May 21st of next year. So we shall see. I'm hoping that I don't need to have a revision, because I do want to get follicular unit extraction, which is basically a hair transplant. That's going to be really exciting, because I do want a slightly smaller forehead, but also I want to be able to use the follicular unit extraction to basically cover up my scar. Again, my scar is easily hidden with foundation, but I'm the kind of girl, I like to go wash face as I am now, because she serves face. But I want to be able to do it and not have my scar as visible as it is. And again, the scar is really not that bad, y'all. Like, it could be far worse. It could honestly be far worse. So I'm counting my blessings for sure. Just getting into it. As you can see, and my hair, so I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my other videos, but hair loss. Woo, buddy. I wish I would have taken pictures of the balls of hair, like the clumps of hair that I had collecting in my shower. It was crazy. After the FFS procedure, I started losing a ton of hair, like a ton of hair. My poor hair. But what I will say is that it does start growing back after a couple of months, although there are certain spots, little spots, where the hair hasn't quite grown back yet. Like you can see here, the hair is a bit sparse, and right here as well. Yeah, sometimes the hair grows back a little bit sparse, as you can see with my situation. However, I'm very fortunate that my hair has grown back far more than I thought it would. I wasn't sure if it would. Some patients experience like forever hair loss, so they lose their hair along the forehead incision. So that said, I am considering getting a follicular unit extraction, and I will definitely keep you all posted on how that goes if and when I decide to do it. But it's definitely a matter of when, because I do want to get it done. I definitely want like a slightly smaller forehead, and also once again to just like cover up the incision scars. So that's that on that. What I will say about the mental aspect of all of this, because trust and believe, I went through some mental gymnastics, honey. It was giving Olympian challenges when it came to the mental battles that I was facing with FFS. I had a really difficult time earlier on with healing. I was very much afraid that certain things weren't addressed. I was still, once again, I was still very swollen in my right eye, and it appeared as though it was untouched by Dr. Bradley. But that's not the case. It was just swelling that was in my right eye. However, I was very emotional, and I was upset, and I was like, I can't believe Dr. Bradley didn't lift both eyes as I'd asked. When in reality, he did. I promise y'all, he did address my right eye as well as my left. But what I can say about all of this is that if you're considering doing FFS, please, please, please have patience. Have patience. Also, don't look in your mirror every 5-10 minutes like I was. Oh my God, y'all. I kept staring at myself in the mirror every single day earlier on when I was healing. And it took so much out of me. It made me really depressed. And that's honestly one of the downsides to having FFS is you start focusing on the negatives rather than the positives, and you hyper focus on what's happening right now versus keeping in mind that this is a process and that it's going to take some time to heal. My best advice is for folks to have a great support system of people to remind them that this is a process, that it's going to take several months to a year to heal, and that you're okay. You're going to be okay. I promise. FFS is one of those things where it really puts you through the ringer. Like you experience a multitude of emotions, and sometimes those emotions conflict with each other, and you might get depressed, you might get really, really emotional like I did, but it's all okay. It's all to be expected. I do not regret having this procedure at all. Quite the contrary. I'm very proud of myself that I made it through this procedure, that I had the strength to get through this procedure, because it does. It takes a tremendous amount of strength and positivity. What I would also highly recommend folks to do is to definitely have a therapist on call for for when you're going through FFS because, woo, child, I don't think I would have been able to make it through all of this had it not been for my therapist. She was really able to calm me down and talk me from the ledge because there were several moments where I was like, I feel ugly, and you might. I'm not promising that you'll feel that way, but you might feel really ugly because you're still swollen. You're swollen, you're bruised, you're healing. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to deal with. But again, I say just trust the process. Keep in touch with your doctor. I was rather calm with my doctor, and I was definitely trying to like not overwhelm him and his team with regards to like 50 million questions. I personally kept trying to remind myself that I'm going to heal in time. It's just going to take time. But keep in touch with your doctor, keep in touch with your doctor's team in case you have any concerns, or if heaven forbid something should happen, then definitely reach out to your doctor, let them know what's going on and get their recommendations. But it's a collaborative effort, it's definitely a collaboration. And so you should feel comfortable talking to your surgeon and your surgeon's team about what's going on and if you have any concerns. I was definitely very vocal with Dr. Bradley in terms of my right eye being as swollen as it was and wondering what was going on. And he definitely told me that it was more than likely swelling, but give it some time. Again, going back to the fact that this procedure takes time. And so give yourself that grace, give yourself that patience, even though it's really hard. I'm telling y'all, it is so hard. In order to help with my healing, I personally used scar sheets again for helping out to minimize the scarring. And also I used arnica for the swelling. That helps, and the bruising, it helps tremendously. So I highly recommend you getting some arnica and some scar sheets to help out with your recovery. Also, get yourself an ice face mask similar to the surgical face mask that I found on Amazon. Trust me, you are going to thank me later, because this thing right here helped me a lot. It helped me a lot with my swelling. It helped bring down the swelling. And with that is a wrap on today's video, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for viewing. Please, if you liked this video, like, subscribe, share these videos. Please, 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 please. It helps me so much with my viewership if y'all like and subscribe and comment and share my videos. It helps me with my viewership, but also it helps folks out there that need this sort of information. That said, thank you again, and I'm sending you all so much love.